Welcome to the Rock Life Podcast. We talk about relationships, adventure, freedom, and just some all around real and raw conversations. I'm Mike LaRocque, got my lovely wife Laura.
Hey guys. Okay, so thank you, Mike, for that wonderful introduction. I have to laugh every time. I don't even know why. I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's just part of the deal now.
Today we wanted to talk about just starting because we know a lot of couples, I mean, individuals, but because we're a relationship podcast and marketing online, we're going to talk about couples. And so we know a lot of couples that are actually held back. They really like the idea of creating some sort of passive income or additional income, multiple streams of income. But there's a lot of mindset blocks.
Big time.
Um, and kind of theories, stories that they've made up for themselves that they can't start. And so Michael and I, in our past, like 6-ish years of our online entrepreneurial journey, have pretty much debunked a lot of those because we went like headfirst and we did all of the things that you shouldn't do.
Yeah, we did the LaRocque or Mike LaRocque special and dove headfirst into pretty much anything and yeah, screwed up about every one of them.
We failed in a lot of ways. So, we want to pay it forward in this episode today and just share with you like how to start out online and really to just do it.
Yeah,
And not even online, like if it's just a multiple stream of income of any sort, but we're going to share the avenue of online because a lot of what we do for businesses is online,
yeah,
right? Like you'll
100%.
bring it on social media or you'll do online marketing with it, whether it is a brick and mortar business or an online business.
Yep.
So we just wanted to share with you a little bit about our journey in a way over the past 6 years of all of the things that we essentially effed up. And then we're going to leave you with some tips and some kind of like insight on just really going for it and not letting yourself kind of be held up any longer.
No, 100%. Yeah. No blocks. Don't, yeah, hold yourself back. Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
point in that. And
Yeah.
down that road too. It'll be on the list.
Yeah. So, okay. So, we're going to share our experience and some key points that stood out for us that we had written down. But the reason we're sharing this is because you're going to be able to relate in some way, in some sort of like, you know, mindset or just story, as I said earlier, that's holding you back from starting. So, because you're thinking like, I don't have the money to get started, or, I don't have the perfect workspace, like all of the things.
Yeah, that money
So,
one's a big one right off the bat.
yeah,
And that one's even ties in relationships really well. It's like, oh, I gotta ask my husband, and then
yeah.
you come home, it's like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, and we've talked about that on previous
Yeah.
podcasts before as well, but
Yeah. That's a big one you gotta get
mhm.
get through and work together as a couple.
And it's funny that a lot of people, and we were in the past as well, well, it won't sound like it when we tell you this, but are afraid to invest into a business because they want quick results. And if they don't get quick results, then they think it's a failure. But we forget to look at a business as like a long-term venture, right? And kind of in it for the long
Well, yeah,
haul.
you look
So,
at any brick and mortar business
yeah.
and it's like you don't see results or you don't even see what is it? You don't see any like income or return on it for like 4 or 5 years. I
Yeah,
mean,
I've
it's a
heard those
lot of
stats.
freaking work, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And a lot of people like want to get rich quick, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny when people say that to me. I'm like, okay, well, don't come work with us because it's
No.
a personal growth journey. You learn so many skills about yourself and beliefs, and you have to drop so much stuff of what you thought, but you have to learn so much stuff in moving forward as well. But okay, let's jump into these experiences because they
Sounds good.
actually make me laugh. So I think you should share the first couple because they were your
These were all mine.
idea.
Yeah. There's some gems in there. So the first one, because I was trying to be, I don't know who I was trying to be. So I was trying to outsource a lot of stuff to India, which when you're trying to build a business between like a personal brand, and you're trying to create a business where it's like trying to build a
You and
team. Yeah, and you're
authentic.
trying to be authentic and they're your stories and everything else that goes with it. Don't outsource it to India or anyone for that matter. Like, I mean, there's Fiverr and all these different things that help, but at the same token, like a lot of that's your own. And I know it seems like the greatest thing, like, oh, someone's gonna write my copy for me. Until you have a real partnership with somebody, or they don't know what they're like, they're just gonna write you some generic stuff that has nothing pertaining to you.
And I think until you're in business long enough,
You don't know what
you don't
you're
even really know because it's all trial and error too. So,
absolutely. Yeah, so that one was a keeper.
but I will say that that man that you hired from India was like our biggest fan, and to this day, he still comments
I
on
don't
our
think he's like our
stuff.
super
So,
fan, so I'll give it
yeah.
that. If you need some likes, that's a great way to get some likes. He was a beauty.
What did you even outsource him for?
Well, I was trying to get him to do a website for us because then there was all the promise of all this SEO, like search engine optimization.
Oh,
And then, but he needed a bunch of information off of the website that we already had. And we had one of those cookie cutter websites. And then I did that. And then I really pissed the people off that made the cookie cutter website because we were trying to get information
oh
and
yeah.
started this whole like thing.
So Mike made business really overcomplicated.
Oh man, it was
It
like
does not need to be that
not at
way.
all. It was like the easiest business in the world, right? And then I completely was like, this is way too easy. Let's complicate this and piss off everybody in the process. And we got nowhere. And
I
then
forgot about
then
that.
our cookie cutter website got shut down because those people got mad. They're like, we don't need you. Get out of here. So it was yeah. So don't do that one. That was a that was a good lesson.
I mean, it was good on you for thinking outside of the box. That's a
Well,
good
I was trying
entrepreneurial
to be
skill, but
fucking some big businessman, and yeah, that one backfired horribly.
you got to earn your way there. It
You
doesn't just happen
definitely got
overnight.
to earn your way there. So there was that. I think we paid, call it like at least 4,000 for a website after that,
Hmm.
give or take, and you definitely didn't need to do that. Okay, honey, we got $4,500 left in our savings. What are we gonna do? Spend 4,000 on a website. People are just gonna come flocking in.
Yeah, this is while we lived in London.
Yeah,
It was a
that,
beautiful website.
oh, it's an awesome website. I mean, there's definitely nothing you could say that's bad about it, but that money could have went a lot of different places than to a website that we had no traffic to.
Yeah, you don't need a website to get started in business.
No, not at all. So there was that one. This one's always ongoing, and I'm preaching about this one to my wife here just tonight that like buying different microphones and different cameras and it is a fine line because you got to do stuff and you got to try it with some of this and
You're just
especially
justifying your
oh,
purchases
listen to me
right now.
justify this. I work really hard and I just wanted some nice things. No, so we're gonna get a new microphone set up and a whole new kind of podcasting gear set up.
Which is not what you need to start a
You do
podcast.
not need that to start a podcast. If you look at this, I'll explain it on another app. Maybe when I get the other stuff, I can do like a little, not a tutorial by any means, but we'll just talk about what we have now and then what we're upgrading to. To be honest, the upgrade is a lot of safety net stuff too. What we have right now is really shoestring together, so it just takes one little error and then or a double A battery dying on us and we're hooped. But I good justification.
Yes, and I'm already getting bored of that topic.
Yeah, you glazed right over.
I could care less. And
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
mean that
don't.
from a bitchy perspective. I just literally have no interest in technology.
No, and that's fair. And like I say, you don't need like the best camera in the world to do anything. We literally shoot all this on our like I got my iPhone, and I honestly don't have any plans on changing that anytime soon. Maybe we can do some multi-camera stuff later, but again, you can do that with a couple cell phones.
Hmm.
And like these, especially everyone has like newer iPhones. The cameras on them are unbelievable.
Yeah. I think
Um,
the key is you can get really resourceful with what you have.
oh, 100%. And that's
You
what
do
these are.
not
These
need
are
to
like
go out and invest thousands
no, like
in
these are
your
field
gear.
recorders and like just making it work, right?
Yeah.
And getting it done. And it still sounds pretty decent.
Yeah.
So,
I guess that's a good point because if we would have waited to get this gear that you're
oh
really
God,
itching to get,
we'd
we
still be
wouldn't
waiting.
have started the podcast. And then when would we have bought the gear? But now we're already 9 episodes in. You're going to get the gear in the next probably couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 4 or 5
4 or
episodes.
5, yeah.
But just goes to show we didn't wait till we got the gear to start the podcast, right?
No, and I've done that in the past. it's probably on my list of, buying all these fancy lenses and doing all these things and then making one video and realizing how much work it really was or is, and just that kind of fizzles out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all
So
fad, right?
that's a big one with podcasts, or what I've been reading a lot on podcasts and trying to do different things, and that's a big one. Everyone goes out, buys all this gear, and then they're hard to do after a while, and that's why we always talked about that threshold of, it was like 9 or
Yeah.
12 or 11, whatever it is. There's a certain like there's X amount of podcasts. I don't even know the number, but there's so many dormant ones because people do 4 or 5 episodes and they just realize, like, holy God, this is whatever. It's not as sexy as I thought it'd
Yeah.
be, or like Joe Rogan makes it seem so easy, and
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
so you don't have to do that by any means. Um, this is another good one. Kind of goes with all the outsourcing. Paid someone to make Facebook ads. Um,
And there
again,
was no reason we needed to make Facebook ads.
no, and then this was back in the day, and then same thing, kind of with that copy and outsourcing and things. They don't know you, and you're trying to make ads that are hitting, like, you're talking to people. You're connecting, right? And you're paying these people to make ads for you that have no idea who you are, and it just doesn't compute, and you just end up wasting so much money
Yeah.
because it's a rabbit hole that just you can just toss money into.
And I mean, it's interesting. Outsourcing is a fine line because I'm outsourcing a lot now, right? But I've been in my business for a few years and I know the inner workings of my business and I know I've done all of the things. So
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what to do and how to do it. It's just I don't want to do it and I don't have the time to do it anymore. So now I am outsourcing it, but I can tell the girls like what I want, right?
That's the thing. You know what to do, but it's out of our zone of genius, basically,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or out of
Yeah,
your
my
zone of
time is
genius.
better spent
Exactly.
doing something
So
else at this
we always
point.
say it, like, enough to be dangerous. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
can do different things, but pay someone that can do it in like an eighth of the time,
Yeah.
and
But
then
in the
kick it out
beginning
nice.
of your
Yeah.
business, it is good to learn, to dip your toes in different
Hmm.
areas of your business so that you at least have an understanding of it for sure. Because then you at least know what you're going to outsource to someone and what they're doing, and they're not like screwing you over
Exactly. That's what
or.
happened with the ad thing. Like, I had no idea. Like, Facebook ads can get really, they're intricate, but I mean, once you figure them out, it's not that bad. But I had no idea. So I was like, oh, we'll just pay this guy a bunch of
Mhm,
money to do these Facebook ads. But I had no idea where to even start with them.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
then it got us nowhere, like literally just throwing money out the door. So that was one. What else we got? Oh, this is a beauty. Thinking business cards will make you legit. That one goes back quite a few years, but just in my mind anyway, I was always like, okay, once we get business cards, we'll just hand these things out and people are just gonna flock to us. And
Yeah. And people think that about websites as well. Like,
yeah,
oh, once I have a website, which again is a fine line, but you don't need these things to get started, especially today with social media, right? You can just
no,
create your brand from scratch without really investing much money into it.
no, you need
And
an
then you
audience, right?
invest and grow as you grow,
Yeah,
right?
like we could have, again, that $4,000 website, beautiful website, but if you have no traffic to it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, no, it's definitely a fine line. What else we got here? Oh, yeah, that was the thought we were. So doing the videos, so that goes hand in hand with kind of what we're doing. But I notice a lot of people do this, and as in a few groups that try to get people to start doing like selfie videos. They're just talking in front of a camera, and you're doing 100 retakes.
Yeah. Or reading from a script.
Oh God, I am fucking terrible for that. And, oh, remember those early training videos we used to do or try to
Yeah.
do? Like, we would do it, and then I was always the one that would like get 3 words in, like, okay, we got to redo it.
Yeah. Whereas, like, who cares? Yeah, you're going to stutter. Keep
Oh
going.
God. But you
It
look
was,
so terrible. Like, now when you
you're
look
like,
back at that video, it's like it looks so terrible in my mind. It's like, okay, I got it all off. Sounds, or I got it off without making a mistake. Perfect.
yeah, but you sound robotic,
Oh,
not
just
authentic in any
cringeworthy, right?
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Those ones are just funny to me because you can definitely tell the difference then between going live and having a pre-recorded video because then when you actually get on a live, you're like and you don't know how to talk in front of a camera, right?
Exactly.
So you're going to fuck up a lot in the beginning of your business and being on camera and writing the wrong things, saying the wrong things, but it's totally fine because you're going to grow with it. And
Hmm.
actually, on that note, it's really good for people to see your starting point and where you are now because a lot of us compare ourselves, our day one to someone's year 5 and think I'm not as good as them. And we did that a lot in the beginning as well. Like we thought we should just like magically go from day 1 to year 5 in our skills and our
I
presence
know.
and all of this stuff, right? But if we would have known that, okay, no, we're gonna suck and we're gonna be terrible, it would have saved a lot of heartache for sure, and we would have just kept going, right?
Heartache and frustration, and then we'd, or myself anyway, like hit that frustration point where it was like, okay, this is pointless.
Yeah,
I don't
and
even
then
want
just
to do
end up
anything, and then you
quitting.
don't do anything
Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. It really
Yeah.
does.
So I think you grow with your business. It's like you're birthing it, but you're learning. It's like when you become a new parent, right? Like
Hmm.
you're learning as you go, and that's what's happening with your business. So don't compare yourself to those people because there's no such thing as an overnight success. Those people have been, they start at the same place, but what I wanted to say on that note is having those videos is actually really good for your video or your business. We should almost post those ones. I think I'm like wearing a blazer, but
That was a nice blazer.
it just shows people that they can start too, right? Because if
Yeah.
you're so good, people aren't going to want to work with you or join your team or, do what you're doing because they think, oh, I can't do that. But if you show them, that you sucked as well, then
Well, that's just it.
it
You
gives
have to,
them
and that's like
confidence.
anything, right? That's
Hmm.
work. Like, I mean, as an apprentice, you start out as a, like for carpentry, you start as a laborer. You're not going to roll in there and start bashing together walls, or
Hmm.
even concrete is a perfect example of you can't just go in and start finishing concrete. It literally, there's no, you could read as many books in the world on trying to finish concrete until you actually do it and learn the little intricacies and learn little tips and tricks and whatever else. There's just no way to do it, but you have to do it. That's the only way to get better.
Which totally makes sense when you talk about concrete or, some sort of skill in a trade or whatever. But why do you think that people don't think that applies to starting an online business or an MLM or digital marketing or affiliate marketing, any of that stuff? Why doesn't that register that I have to start somewhere as well?
Because I think it's the kind of that marketing or the push like behind MLM, behind internet marketing, behind all that stuff is always, it's always that end goal, or it's always that end result is kind of the,
Oh, yeah, like retiring your husband or
yeah, it's
working
always,
from home.
exactly, it's always that end result is always the thing that's right in front of your face. So exactly like you got to retire my husband, or you got to retire my wife, or oh, we got to live on a yacht, or we got to do all these things. Sure, that's great, but I mean that's way down the line.
Hmm.
There is so many things that you have to do before that.
There's so many tears and late nights and
Oh
frustration and
God.
no's and
Yeah, the
steps
frustration.
back. Um, but what else did I want to say on that? Oh, yeah, I think too that a lot of things sold online are for that purpose, like to, as you just said, live on the yacht, live that Bali life, the laptop lifestyle.
Yep.
And I think people start out because they're like, yeah, that sounds cool. I want that. But you're not actually connected into what you actually want and why you actually want it. Because you don't really want to live on a beach in Bali. You want freedom and like you want time with your family.
Exactly.
You want more money, which means more adventure, right? And
Hmm.
more time and memories with your family and not less stress and less worry. So you, yeah, you're just not emotionally connected to having a yacht and you kind of want it for other reasons, like other people, right?
Oh, exactly. It really is. And I know you talked about that overnight success thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to work your way up to that.
Mm-hmm.
And especially that beach lifestyle, you have to work your way up to that beach lifestyle so that you have enough sources of income, not just one or two. You have enough sources of income mixed around that you can actually relax when you're on the beach, knowing that
Yeah.
you're making money while you're relaxing. But you still got to work your ass off.
Yeah. And you have to grow into that person who can have all of the time
You
on
got to be
their
able to
hands
handle it.
because otherwise you won't have the boundaries or the motivation to keep going and then you'll get there, but your business will just crumble anyways,
Exactly.
right?
And
Like,
we're fortunate enough that we can see that, right? Like you
mm-hmm.
see it in people that
Yeah.
you hit success, but it happened so fast and you weren't prepared for it.
Yeah.
And you just drop back down to where you it always sounds funny now we're talking about this, but I always watch videos and read things on it that you have to grow into that
Yeah.
success. I'm always like, well, no, you give me $1 million a month, I'll figure out a way to do it. You won't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't handle that. And it seems weird because when I'm broke, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I'll handle that. But you won't be able to handle it.
Yeah. You'll
It's,
waste it
you'll
or
waste it. You'll do
it's,
something. You'll sabotage it because being broke for some messed up reason is more comfortable.
yeah.
than being successful and having money.
Yeah.
If you're not,
Subconsciously.
yeah, if you're not in that place.
Yeah. So it's all baby steps, right? That you have to
Absolutely it
work
is.
up towards.
Absolutely.
Um, and then I wanted to say something else with the comparison thing, but I forgot what it was. So if it comes to me, I'll say it. Do you
Um,
want, oh, do you have more to share on that part of our
no,
journey?
no, I got like a big list. I kind of blocked out and just started writing, and it was like, oh God, there's a lot. But we definitely did the not compare yourself. I got a few pieces on that one. So again, it's big, and especially in this social media world that we're in.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
it?
Yeah, because I
You roll
wanted
with
to
it.
say too that people don't show their failures online. All you're seeing is their highlight reels, right? And I think that might be a big contributing factor too, as well as like, well, I can just, get rich in a couple weeks. And then when you don't, then you quit.
Yep.
Because people aren't showing you the late nights that they're putting in or the thousands of dollars that they have invested in certain
Like
things that
tens of thousands, yeah.
yeah, that haven't paid off or they're waiting to pay off or moving money around to do certain things. And I'm not saying that's everyone's experience, but I think that is a lot of people's experience
Hmm.
because this is brand new territory, but you don't see that part, right?
No,
So I
no.
think that's a huge thing
And that's
too.
everything, right? That's just social media. You're only seeing highlight reels
Yeah.
and
Yeah, just life, relationships, like everything,
yeah.
right?
Oh, I
You're
love
not
you so much.
posting on
Yeah.
social media when you're having a fight or like
Well, some people are. You don't hang around mine, but
I don't have the same news feed that you have.
not saying it's bad, you guys. No, it's no, absolutely. You only see highlight reels of people, and it's hard because you get sucked into that, and you want to compare yourself to it, and you're like, I'm ready for that. I can do it,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's tough.
So I think we should rattle off the tips and all of the things that we wish we knew then. Which again, we're gonna rattle these off, and it's not like you can just take them and be like, "Oh yeah, okay, of course." We're all on different aspects and different parts of our journey, so you're still going to have to go through your own shit. But I hope that in by sharing these tips, we just inspire you to go get started on that thing or that business, that side hustle, whatever it is that you've been wanting to do
Yep.
and waiting to do. So that's our whole idea of this podcast episode is to just to really inspire you to go do it. But anything that we say, just hold that in the back of your mind. And when you have those beliefs or those blocks or these things coming up for you, you can remember that and then be like, right, yeah, I just have to move through this or I need to address these feelings or whatever. But just know that it's normal. It's totally okay. And then keep focusing on where you want to go, which are different tips that Mike's going to kind of
Yeah,
just
like
blast off.
what else we got here? Like you're not stuck with one way to do something. Like you're always growing and changing as a person. So I mean, your business can pivot, you can completely change into something else. Like you're always growing, you're always going to better yourself. And that's what I really like about MLMs or online marketing or any kind of business. It's always at the core of it, it's a self-development business.
Mm-hmm.
So you again, you just have you're becoming a better person, you're becoming a stronger person, and it really goes with business because then you have the wherewithal, you have the resilience to take a lot of those no's that people talk about in sales and things like that. You're going to be strong enough to do that because you're working so much on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's again, it's easy to talk about, but when you're actually living it, it's tough business. But you get through it, and it only gets better. Um, this one's kind of funny. The branding photos aren't going to be perfect, so you got to use what you got, and you got to get creative. And sometimes you take your own branding photos or
Mm-hmm. Cell
whatever.
phones are really great photos. Or
Exactly,
take really great photos.
and yeah, and it's yeah, you could be in the same boat, spend $4,000 on branding photos, but if you have no one to look at them, then you just have some beautiful photos to look at of yourself.
Yeah.
Um, be your brand. So this one, no matter what you're doing, just be that brand. You have to be passionate about it, and people can smell like bullshit a mile away. So I got on here. If you're gonna do weight loss or anything like that, you have to live that. I'm not gonna pay a bunch of money to a personal trainer that's fat.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just not gonna happen, right? So you have to live that, or at least be in that journey. Like if it is a weight
Yeah,
loss
that's
product,
just it. Yeah.
be in that weight loss journey with people, and show that, and at least you're doing it, so people can get behind you and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking about it's not gonna convince anyone, or not convince, but it's not gonna help anybody jump on your team or anything
Well,
like
the
that.
thing is that we live in an information age where there's so much information at our fingertips. People don't care about that anymore. They want to connect with you. They want to connect with your
Hmm.
journey and your authenticity. And so that means you get vulnerable and you share the realness and the trueness of who you are in this journey. And that's what people connect with. And that's why people want to join you in your business, right? And you're
Exactly.
always a half a step ahead of them. So you have a lot to teach them.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's just a
Oh, that's
important thing
perfect.
to add.
This one's kind of funny. I don't even know what I was writing, but even if you're talking to one person, it's better than talking to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've been in this. I've been in it personally. Laura's been in it personally. You know, do all this work that you're thinking you're doing, and you're put on a meeting, and nobody shows up to your meeting, and
Yeah.
you're sitting there by yourself.
And then it's easy to take it personal, but again, you have to work through those feelings and emotions because it's actually not. I mean, people have lives. They're busy. Your business isn't the first thing on someone else's mind, right? So you
No,
kind of have to get over that yourself
that
as
that rolls
well.
into the next one. It's not your friends and family's job to support your business.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that one's tough, and that one's a hard one to learn. Like, why aren't my friends or family watching these videos? Why aren't you sharing these videos? Why aren't you buying my products and things like that? It's not their job, man.
Yeah. And actually, to put that into perspective, you can think about all of the messages or questions you get to host parties or sell this product or share this or share that or buy this or buy that coming at you from multiple people in your life.
Hmm.
And you know what that feels like, right? And you can't be expected to do it all. So I think from the perspective as the business owner, just drop that expectation altogether. Like there's billions of people in the world and the
Absolutely.
internet is at your fingertips. So you can learn Facebook ads or you can organically market your business through social media so that you do taproot and meet other people online who are outside of your network. So
Yep.
there's just so many ways to get into new audiences and meet new people and build relationship that you don't need to expect your family and friends to buy from you. And then you're not like that awkward person at family reunions that they're trying to avoid because you're going to sell them your product or
Well,
something.
that one, or getting those or sending out just blanket messages on
Yeah.
Messenger, like DMing people, right, that you
Yeah.
haven't talked to in years. And there's so many memes about that, and people
Yeah.
like it's laughable now, and that's what made it even more. You're just fighting that battle on top of every other battle that you have to fight in with any kind of MLM or any kind of business of.
Yeah. All of the kind of
Yeah, you haven't talked to someone
cliches
since
about
high
them.
school, and then now
I
they're.
think this would be a perfect business for you.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly,
do
right.
those things. You don't have to do those
No, you
things.
do not have to do those things.
No, and this is where businesses change. Like maybe 5 years ago, that was what people did.
Yeah.
Business has completely changed. This is about building a personal brand and being you and going back to that real and authentic.
Yeah.
And it's called attraction marketing. So you actually attract people to you through your value and your education and your inspiration and your humor and just being you. And that's why people want to do business with you. They don't really care what you're selling.
No,
Right? I
to be
mean, you
honest,
do
no.
have to have a connection to your product or your
Yeah,
service
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
If it's a direct sales or affiliate or MLM or anything like that, you for sure do. But I think people are more so connected to the person that they're working with
Big time.
than
And
the
I
product.
say that about most of those like almost every product I've ever seen with any kind of MLM or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's all great stuff. It's not like like most of it's not junk
Mm-hmm.
or shitty products or anything like that. But it's just it's how you market it, right? And
Yeah.
so it's
And there's so much products out there. Just
absolutely.
as much as there's information, there's so much products out
Yeah.
there. So again, you just sharing about your product to everyone, they don't care again, right? Like
No,
they just want to know what can it do? Like how can it help them in their life? And also how can you help me in my life,
exactly.
right?
How's it
So
going to solve my problems, and how you're going to help me
exactly.
solve my problems? And it kind of goes hand in hand. Not everyone's going to like what you're doing, and you're going to get ridiculed. You're going to get laughed at.
What?
Yeah.
Not everybody likes me.
Yeah, it's hard, eh? It's hard to fathom that. But no, it's true. And you just that one's tough. Like you just got to get tough skin on that one. And that one's a tough one.
That's a lot of personal lessons, yeah. And I speak I mean, the reason I say that is clearly a joke because I have been a people pleaser and a perfectionist most of my life, and so and also on the Enneagram I'm a 2, so I'm the helper,
Right.
which means like I take offense to people not liking what I'm talking about or taking my help
A
or
thousand people could like what you're doing, love what you're doing, and they'll just take one person and it can knock you down like
yeah.
so fast.
I mean, I'm definitely a lot
Oh,
better
you're
at
good. Oh yeah,
that
100%,
for sure because
100%.
I'm so in tune with my purpose and my message and what I am
And
doing
you've
and the
helped
people I
so,
have
and you
helped.
helped so many people that you by now,
Yeah.
if you don't believe it, then it's like, well, okay,
Yeah, but still, I mean, I want everyone to like me.
that's
Like,
fair.
how come you don't like me? If I can change if you want me to, or so that you'll like me, which is terrible. Don't do
Yeah,
that, by
don't
the
do
way.
that,
Like,
please.
be you.
Yeah,
But there's just different personality types out there who are going to struggle with that. And I feel you. I totally feel you.
yeah.
But it does get better. You just keep going one step in front of the other. It does get better.
Oh, that one's yeah, that one hits home, eh?
Hmm.
This one, everybody preaches this, but you have to believe in your why. And I know when most people sign up for any kind of MLM or anything like that, the first training lesson from your upline is always like, "Okay, what's your why?"
Hmm. Your why must make you cry.
There you go. And you got to believe that, and that has to be your north star. That has to be what pushes you, and make it. I don't know. Just get selfish. I think
It's a hard for a lot of people because it's always like, I want to help other people, but you have
that's
to
the
help
golden thing.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah. And it's okay to get selfish because even if it is like, oh, I want a new car or,
That's fair.
whatever it is, who cares if it's materialistic or not? Your why is always going to change as you do, but
Hmm.
you have to have something that you feel so strongly about that you will keep going when someone doesn't like you or leaves you a rude comment or unsubscribes from your newsletter or anything like that. But then also, like, you have to have something that makes you work late into the night to reach
Yep.
your deadlines.
Big time.
Your why just has to be really strong because that's like pretty much the fuel of your business in the beginning,
It
right?
is, and
Otherwise, you just
that's
give up.
it's your fuel, it's everything, it's your armor. Because especially early days, when someone unsubscribes from your mailing list, when you
Because
have
you're watching
when
so
you have
closely.
25 people on your mailing list, most of them friends and family, and four of them are from you because you had to test it from your four email accounts. When one person unsubscribes, it cuts deep. It really does. Oh, God.
But again, if you're just so connected to what you're doing and your mission and,
Yeah, you just keep going. And like I
yeah.
say, follow that North Star and it'll get you there. You just got to keep going on it. This one I know all too well. Don't quit your day job too early or too soon. Uh,
We've talked about that.
we have talked about that, and that was
Hmm.
that whole Vancouver deal too. Like when we
Hmm.
were out there, that one it's tough because you become desperate. And I said that's like your typical car salesman. Like desperation's a stinky cologne, and people can smell it a mile away,
Yeah.
and it doesn't do anything for you. It just pushes people away so fast.
Yeah. I
And that
mean,
stress that you put on yourself because you're putting all this stress on trying to make income, but you're not making income because you're not selling anything because you're
mm,
not no one wants to be around you. It just causes so much grief on yourself, on your family, on your friends, everything.
mm-hmm. Which don't you have a point on there somewhere about um your business isn't you and taking time for yourself or something like that? I thought there was a point on that. I mean, I'll just add that point that you have to take care of yourself because your business isn't your whole life. Like even though your business is your personal brand, you are still a person outside of your business and you
Yep.
have to take care of yourself because in what you're saying, when you're trying to force and force and force things, people feel that. But a part of attraction marketing and really being you and being authentic is that you actually attract people towards you. So therefore, you need to be taking care of your health and your attitude and your mindset. And then also though, just with the laws of energy, right? Like feminine and masculine energy. Like you have to be masculine in your business to get shit done, but then you have to be feminine in your business to allow the energy to come back to you, to receive, because the
Yeah.
feminine is all about receiving. And you get into a receiving state by taking really good care of yourself, nurturing yourself.
Big time.
I mean, I could go on for that forever and ever. And so I'm not going to talk any deeper on that. But I just think, with energy wise, if you get desperate because you quit your job, you literally do put up like an energetic wall and no one's coming to you.
No, no one's coming in. So
Um, so
there's that
yeah.
one. What
And that's a
else do we got here?
stigma as well, though, too. Like that the sooner you can quit your job, like the better person you are, the better business person you are, right? Like all those overnight
Well,
successes.
there couldn't be any better motivation because you're sitting there, you're just hating life in your crappy job, and you're like, I want any way to get out of this thing. So
Mhm.
that's the big motivating factor of like, oh, I can quit my job.
Mhm.
So then you get a little sniff of success, little sniff of success, and you chase that thing, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it's there goes that. It's like
Yeah.
poof,
Yeah.
and then you're in an even worse position. Um, what else we got here? We got this is one of my last ones actually. Step out of your comfort zone because being paralyzed by fear and not doing anything in your business will tear you apart inside. So this one is it's kind of counterintuitive, but if you're so scared to do anything, and you don't do anything in your business, you're not doing much in life, but inside you're so mad at, or I say
Beating yourself
personally,
up.
yeah, I should like personally and like beat the hell out of myself inside because I wasn't doing anything. And you know better, like you know, like you should be doing something and you're not, and it tears you apart inside. Especially watching all of everyone's highlight reel around you, and you're seeing all these people. Why can't that be me? And you make yourself even feel worse.
And so you're saying that with stepping out of your comfort zone just by like get out of your head, stop being so scared and just go do something.
You really do. Like even this podcast, for example, or like videos. Like I made that one. Like I spent all of last year making a video every week,
Mhm.
which a lot of them were crap and whatever. But I mean, I was out of my comfort zone talking in front of people, like making videos talking about self development, where I was actually in a really shitty spot. I was quite depressed when I was making these videos. But for that little glimmer of hope, it would make me, and I honestly think that helped me get through some stuff. Um, so I mean, that alone, at least if you get out of your comfort zone, you're doing things, it's only gonna make you grow.
Mhm.
And we talked about before, where making those videos showed me how to make an iPhone look half decent now. So now I don't have to go out and buy the best deal, like buy the best
Mhm.
camera, which still won't be the best because I don't have the skills to make it look great anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a real tricky one, that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because a lot of people just don't start, kind of like bringing this back around full circle. A lot of people don't start because they don't have the skill. So then they just sit there and spin in it, like you're saying, right? And
100%.
then you
Yep.
just beat yourself up. Whereas if you just started and going over all of those things that we just shared, just start, you're going to fail yourself forward, but at least you're moving somewhere and you're building those skills. And then all of a sudden, one day you're going to look back on your videos and be like, holy shit, when did I get so good at editing these videos or talking in front of video or taking pictures or
Hmm.
talking to people about my business, selling, like
Yeah.
closing sales, all of those things, right? All of a sudden, you're like, wow, I've really come a long way.
It
So
just becomes
you just
second nature.
have to start. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can always revert things back to construction, right? Like it doesn't happen overnight. And then now you go on a job site or I guess perfect example would be in the office. So like 2 years ago when I started being a project manager, I was a fucking fish out of water, man. Like I'm not a smart man for there's a
Give yourself a little
yeah,
grace.
I get a little credit, but I mean, like, all these people went to university or college or all these things, and like I'm in there trying to read contracts, and I can read at my grade six level, and um, I'm thank God for spell check and things like that on computers, right? So I was beating myself down for that, but after just doing it, and like you said, falling forward or failing forward, and um, you get better, and
Hmm.
now it's there's not a lot of things that I know like that I'm scared of, or I know I can at least get through them. Like I'll
Yeah.
figure out a way, right? So you really gain a huge belief in yourself.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just have to be business focused. You get that belief in yourself for life,
Yeah.
and it pushes you through anything. Help your kids, help your family, help your wife to do anything in life.
Well, it's funny you say that because as I was sitting here listening to you, I was just thinking, well, this whole message that we just shared on this episode is really relevant as well to growing in your relationship because whether you're doing a business together or apart, either way, all of this stuff we talked about is building your confidence, right?
Right, big time.
And when you build your confidence, you have a better relationship and then you invite your partner to do the same as well, right?
Yeah.
And then you're always like growing and evolving together. So I don't know, that was just like a random thought
No,
I
that's
had.
awesome. And there's, to be honest, like for myself anyway, like there's nothing sexier than confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But not a false sense of confidence. Like that, I like that quiet, cool, just like
Yeah.
you with what you do is like you fucking ooze confidence, and I love it. Watching you work or listening, like after you get off a call and then you coming out and we're like have a coffee or something for 10 minutes, you're just oozing like
Mm-hmm.
femininity, and you're just um you're in your fucking zone of genius, and I
Mm-hmm.
love it. And there's nothing better than watching you do that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it goes both ways.
Yeah. No, yeah, it totally does. And I think, someone listening to this might think, well, how do you get into your zone of genius? But you get into your zone of genius by doing all of these things we just said. You
Just
find
doing
it by,
something, yeah.
yeah, taking the first step. And maybe we should end it on this. I love the analogy of the staircase. If you're standing at the bottom of the staircase and you're looking all the way up to the top, you might think, holy shit, that's a lot of steps. And I don't know how I'm going to get there. But if you just focus on the first step, and then once you're on that step, the next step, right? And
Hmm.
that's kind of how you do your business. That's really, I mean, how you have a North Star, like you said, but
Yep.
essentially that's kind of how you do life. But for sure, your business, you don't need to know all the things or do all of the things to start. You just need to take one step at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that sounds great. And let's leave it at that, because we spewed out a bunch of stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's yeah, let's leave it at that.
Cool. Okay. Well, if you are listening to this, please subscribe and leave us a review. And of course, you're listening to this if you're listening to me. So
Hey man. We got
see,
lots of people watching
fail
on,
forward,
yeah, lots of people
right?
watch on Facebook. So like, I mean, comment on this stuff. See where
Yeah.
you're at. Let us know. And I mean, we can talk. If there's some things that hit home, we can elaborate more on this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And it gives us ideas on things that you guys want to hear from us in the future, whether it be relationship or business.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
definitely leave us some comments, leave us a review on iTunes if you're watching there, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We're under LaRocque Life.
Yes, exactly. And we got some big stuff coming our way, especially yourself. Like, I mean, your website. We got the cups going. It's coming.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming together in my business, but that's only coming because I just started. Not, I didn't just start. I mean, I just started like 3 or 4 years ago, right? So I just took the first step.
No, it's awesome. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for that. I love you. Thank you.
I love you too.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good day.